The Middle East is once again engulfed in conflict, following US and Israeli strikes on Iran's military and nuclear sites in February 2026. Iran's swift retaliation with missiles and drones turned a targeted operation into a regional crisis, threatening global security. This war is fought not just with weapons, but with information. Every event is spun by governments and media to shape public perception. The tragic US airstrike on an Iranian base near a school in Manab, killing over 160 civilians, became a flashpoint for competing narratives and propaganda. Establishing responsibility is nearly impossible amid chaos, allowing misinformation to thrive. Iran's supreme leader was killed in the opening strikes, replaced by his hardline son, signaling further escalation. Tehran frames this as resilience. Western analysts see it as a sign the conflict will intensify. International reactions are split, with Russia backing Iran, underscoring the war's complex alliances. The US is shifting justifications, from stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions to supporting regime change, have sown confusion at home and abroad. The Manab school strike exemplifies the information war. Iran calls it a massacre, the US blames Iran for civilian deaths, and the truth remains elusive. Economic fallout is immediate. Oil prices soar, global inflation looms, and the narrative around these consequences is fiercely contested. Karg Island, Iran's oil export hub, remains untouched, hinting at strategic restraint to avoid total collapse. Meanwhile, Israel and Hezbollah's clashes in Lebanon have displaced hundreds of thousands, with both sides accusing each other of targeting civilians. The humanitarian crisis is undeniable, but responsibility is hotly debated. The war's shifting goals and contested truths leave the world struggling to understand what's really at stake. In this fog, propaganda thrives and public opinion is shaped by incomplete stories. Western media coverage often focuses on military hardware and tactics, sidelining the war's human and legal dimensions. Retired generals and defense analysts dominate the conversation, framing the conflict as a strategic contest rather than a humanitarian disaster. This approach detaches audiences from the real suffering on the ground, reducing war to a spectacle. Critical questions about legality, history, and long-term consequences are often ignored. The lack of diverse voices, diplomats, aid workers, ordinary citizens, narrows public understanding. By sanitizing the conflict, media coverage can lower opposition to war and mute calls for diplomacy. The public sees the how of war, but rarely the why, making informed judgment difficult. Today's battlefield extends to social media, where governments, activists, and ordinary users fight to control the narrative. Official statements are instantly challenged by viral videos, memes, and eyewitness accounts, bypassing traditional media filters. This digital chaos empowers citizen journalists, but also spreads disinformation. Old footage is recycled, bots amplify falsehoods, and truth is hard to verify. The Pentagon's Operation Epic Fury was quickly mocked online, showing how public feedback can reshape official messaging. States now struggle to control digital spaces. Qatar arrests social media users, Iran polices dissent, and all sides push their own narratives. The battle is over who gets to speak and what stories are heard. Social media is a critical, if unreliable, source for understanding the conflict. In this environment, perception can shift faster than facts. Western media often turns to prominent Iranian diaspora figures for commentary, presenting them as voices of the Iranian people. While some advocate for democratic change, the diaspora is diverse. Many oppose foreign intervention or have differing visions for Iran's future. By amplifying only certain voices, media can misrepresent Iranian public opinion and legitimize interventionist policies. This selective focus frames the war as liberation, but risks ignoring Iranian nationalism, which can unite people against foreign attacks. Tehran, aware of the diaspora's influence, threatens and intimidates critics abroad, making open dissent dangerous. The information war extends far beyond borders, with real consequences for those who speak out. Words spoken in Western studios can have life or death stakes for families in Iran. As the US-Iran conflict dominates headlines, violence escalates in the West Bank, largely out of sight. Israeli settler and security force confrontations with Palestinians intensify, while media attention and diplomatic resources are diverted elsewhere. Journalists face harassment and threats, making accurate reporting nearly impossible and allowing propaganda to fill the void. Palestinians feel abandoned as their appeals go unheard, fueling desperation and further violence. Chronic conflicts are eclipsed by new crises, revealing the limits of global media attention. The West Bank becomes a footnote, its suffering overshadowed by more dramatic events. This selective focus distorts the true scope of regional instability. Modern war is fought on the battlefield and in the information space, where narratives shape public understanding and policy. Competing stories about strikes, operations, and opposition voices show that no single source owns the truth. Every message carries an agenda. Government statements, media reports, and social media posts all shape reality. To be informed, citizens must seek diverse perspectives, question which voices are amplified or excluded, and verify information before sharing. Critical thinking is a civic duty in an age of information warfare. Public opinion can drive nations to war or peace. A misinformed public is easily manipulated. By demanding context and questioning narratives, we can hold leaders accountable. Only then can we hope for a more just and peaceful world.